Yeah, man. No, 11. 14 days. I think they're going that far. More. I got more. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, that's 12. Saturday, 12. You know what? That's fine.
I'll watch the weather.
9 until next fucking Saturday.
What I'll do is I'll watch the weather when there's I can't go Monday. Just for that. If you guys want to
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. And like a Beatles album, the hits keep coming. We got a great matchup here with Floyd Ziegler and Alex Zhang. Alex Zhang, you might remember, is the 2016 Richler Cup winner. Also won the Mr. Billiard Open this year. And Floyd Ziegler is no slouch himself. He's had some Canadian championships under his wing, so both men definitely have the silverware in their trophy cabinet, and they just want to add another one. So it's a Sweet 16 match here. It's a best of 7 and a race to 4. And I think we're going to see some fireworks here, and it could go to a decider as well, just like our last match with John Evereckian and Alan Whitfield. So 2 really great competitors. Probably see a lot of pots being taken on earlier on, and if it does go the distance, then they might tie it up. It's a nice long pot there by Floyd. He's got the good angle on the yellow to come back to the business end of the table. And we're streaming live on YouTube channel, or YouTube on, check out the Snooker Canada page. That's where you'll find all the great action. And also we're live at Monte Carlo Billiards here in Mississauga, Ontario. It's on Matawawa Street, just off of Dundas. So if you're in the neighborhood and you want to watch some great snooker action, come down. We are taking donations for admissions, because all of our donations will go to the Air Cadet program. So win-win. Floyd was hoping for a little bit better result there. It's gonna be tough because he might be looking for a long spider to chip off the red and go all the way down into bulk. He's just used a little makeshift spider here. Sometimes those crown rests, you can turn them 90 degrees and they give you that angle just like the spider does. This is tricky. He's left that red over the corner pocket. Alex has a few options for red. Yep, still anybody's just getting started here. Light tuned in. It's just 4-1 in this opening frame. Floyd Ziegler from the Brantford area here in Ontario, and Alex Zhang from Montreal and the Belle Province of Quebec. Brantford, is that near your neighborhood, Mr. David Buddy?
Frankfurt, no.
Brantford, I said.
Oh, Brantford, yeah. Why did
I know where Frankfurt is. But if you do want to go to Frankfurt...
It's close to Vienna, isn't it?
True. We've got a great deal that we're going to put in the works of going to check out the German Masters. If anyone in the snooker community is interested in doing that this coming February, feel free to email at info@snookercanada.ca to enlist, because a bunch of us went to the Masters in London this year and had a great time.
I don't know if I was number 19 or 18 on that tour. Because I arranged to go over on my own.
Oh. I think I was one of the O's in Snooker Canada when we all spelled it out.
I had a flat tire that day. I didn't get there.
We were missing the exclamation mark.
That last shot by Alex was a pure example of how good a stroke he has. There's a handful of players in Canada that would make that shot and have it done with the control that he had. He certainly moves around the table quickly.
Yeah, both these players, as we're getting more and more into the more upper echelon of players as we get deeper into the tournaments, most of them have a good whereabouts and know their shots. Yeah, just like our last match, I'm kind of a little upset that one of these players, unfortunately, will be eliminated.
It is one of the things when you have an open draw, you end up sometimes with one side of the draw more heavily weighted than another with players. And in this case, this is one of the two stronger players or strongest players in Canada. Coming against each other in the round of 16.
come a long way in a few short years in these events that we streamed and stuff like this. The first match I called, Alex Sang, was in the final of the Richler Cup 2 years ago in Montreal. And I remember I was not in the room. I was just on a side room adjacent to the billiard room. And the scores were brought to me on Post-it notes.
That's right.
So look at us now. We have the score on the screen. We have you in the booth with me.
That's an upgrade?
Of course.
Okay.
Christina told me to say that.
There's a nice example of Alex's control. He just rolled that in and the ball just drops in as opposed to pounding into the back of the pocket. And that way he can stay in position for his next red and color. And he plays that with full confidence that he's going to make the shot. There's no doubt in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Stretching a bit on this one. To perfection.
I've thought about it for a little bit, but yeah, just a simple mistake by Floyd has enabled Alex to really put a strong break together here.
Well, we haven't seen a century run yet.
Oh, David. Hopefully they didn't hear anything like that or any of the commentator gods up there.
But so far, our commentator record today is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as much as it's a 12-foot table, Alex likes to make this a 6x6 table. We'll just stand in the business end of the table.
Big ball obviously goes in the left corner. There's a certain quality about watching Alex play where he just expects everything to go in. Mm-hmm. There's no uncertainty. There's no... Just everything is going to work for him. It's nice to watch.
It makes our job easy. Yeah, it's definitely like when you watch the pro circuit. They're not really expecting to miss.
No, it's a surprise when they do.
I, on the other hand, shall you fill in the blank, David? Blank, David?
I'm just leaving that one to you. That one got away on him a bit. He's still on the red that he was playing on, but not quite as close as he would have liked.
Mm-hmm. He's definitely secured the frame, but those reds are tricky. He's going to have to do some work if he wants to get that nice centric.
He does have that one red into the right-hand side. which is, he's overhit that just a bit. That would have been the one he was trying for. Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know if Alex is a Leaf fan, but he's definitely buzzing around that table.
End of run and end of frame, I would think.
True. We do have a little bit of a mercy role played in effect in this tournament. So Alex Zhang takes the first frame, leads 1-0 in the Sweet 16 matchup between Floyd Ziegler.
And certainly Alex has shown Floyd that he's going to have to be on his A game and get in the balls and match from run for run and safety for safety. And
I don't think he can sit still, that Alex.
no, he's a bundle of energy.
Yeah. So hopefully Floyd maybe could pick up on that and put a high run together, get him sitting down for a while.
And Floyd's going to have an opportunity right away. Alex hit that last red on the break fairly thick, so didn't get back down table.
Yeah, good chance for Floyd to respond.
The angle will be important here as to how much he can move that cue ball. And the problem there was that he was pretty straight, so he had to force it. And anytime you have to hit a ball that hard, you have to be very accurate.
And just a quick update on the Renat Danka and Eddie Galati match. Renat is up 3-1, so he's looking good for his chances to move on.
Alex is taking a very close look at this one red on the side, whether it's obstructed by the red right at it, but apparently not. A very nice shot. That's a great shot.
Let's bring out the thesaurus. Excellent, formidable,
Incroyable.
Yeah, he's just oozing confidence. He's not expecting to miss anything. Remember that first Richter Cup that I commentated on, I remember hearing that he practiced for 28 days in a row, 4 hours a day, in lead up to that tournament.
And everything is going set in the center pocket. I guess he rattled one in the previous match, or previous frame, but everything is going in nice and solid.
Now, the only hiccup with that one shot that you do talk about, he was stretching a little bit.
Yes.
You commented on that, so. He is fun to watch, buzzing around the
It's
table.
kind of like watching him in fast forward. These are his matches sped up. Trying to get around for black, I suspect, but he came up a little short.
Stan Greedorn is wondering if the Craig Carey match is delayed. Just not sure if you want to jump onto CompuSport there, Stan. You can either go on their website or download their app for your smartphone. That should be able to tell you. Just kind of looking around the room to see if I see Craig anywhere. The old fireman. I'm just not sure just yet. So, yeah, as any updates come along, I will definitely pass them along, or David Putty will.
I don't think his match is going to be one of the TV matches, TV table or videos. But
We do have one more match today after this one, but as we're winding down, we're just not too sure exactly who has moved on.
when we see our tournament director here, we'll certainly ask him on your behalf and see when that's coming.
You know, it would be an interesting idea. I wonder if people that logged on to CompuSport saw the results. Maybe they put in their vote of who would be on the TV table.
That's a good idea.
Hopefully,
You should suggest it to Gord.
All right. I hope I'm not making Rob's head spin, because he's doing a bang-up job there, and I don't want to add additional pressure to him.
We got a thumbs up from him, so.
Now, was that a thumbs up to ask Gord, or was that a good call?
Wait for another thumbs up. Or down. Alex again is at the table and doing what appears to be what he does best. Trying to get into the pack off this one. And therein lies the danger, and the red drops.
Great billiards shot.
Yes. In one sense, he's actually, having had the white go in, he's actually fortunate that red dropped as well. Because otherwise it was sitting right over a hole.
Don't forget that blue, Alex.
He made 3 balls on that shot.
Yeah, those are the shots that, it's great when we have these live streams, because if you can go back and watch those, sometimes going off the blue into the pack, bursting them open and being on a red. If you do that efficiently, it just really boosts your confidence.
So it looks like he might have left this one along the rail on the right-hand side. I think I'd like to have the eyes and confidence that Alex seems to have. Like, I think he just pictures this ball already in the pocket. Alex is going backwards.
The ball went in the pocket.
And Floyd just gave 4 of them back.
So last match, I was asking a little trivia question of how many World Cups of snooker Canada has won. I'm going to get everyone to the end of this frame to tune in. Please, no cheating. Don't look on Wikipedia. But David Buddy has said 2, but I'm opening it up to the chat room on YouTube here. And the way Alex is buzzing and the way he's potting, it might be a quick frame.
You've got a minute and a half. That's a good safety that Alex just played. He has Floyd in some trouble here. Floyd can hit both sides of this red ball, or he may be waiting for Dan over in the next table.
Floyd with a nice green shirt. He could lose his arm when he's queuing on the table. Julia, I believe Uncle Fern is doing quite well. On our little last break, he was still in the room and still in game wear, so I think he's got a match coming up. But as we find details about that, we'll definitely pass along any of the information that we have.
That safety that Alex played had ended up with Floyd making a bit of an error, but there may be one ball here that Alex can get to try and make. Oh, it's going to go. That is not how he played that. I don't suspect.
A little raise of the hand as he acknowledged it was a fluke, but sometimes you get the bar and sometimes the bar gets you.
The game of snooker is not a game where you need to play or call the shot that you're playing. So as witnessed there, Alex made a red, not the way he planned it, but is now at the table, and you just have to accept it one way or the other, whether you're on the receiving end or the wrong side of a fluke.
It can be frustrating when you have a player that flukes a lot. But over time, flukes aren't going to win that many matches.
No. The frustrating part is when they come at key moments in a frame.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to recognize that you can make the same and quite often will fluke a ball.
Or you're playing someone like Alex with one fluke, and now he's into the balls and he's
Mm-hmm.
off and running. Oh.
An unexpected miss.
Mm-hmm.
This is not an easy one that Floyd's taking on. And Floyd's having a little trouble getting started.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes when your opponent's buzzing around the table. You want to bring his speed down.
Well, Alex just got a bit of luck there. I think the easier of the two reds up by that corner is now covered. And it may have even covered the one in by the pink spot there. And he didn't knock the yellow in the corner pocket. So, bit of dose of good fortune there for him. And there's no obvious safety either. Floyd's certainly giving this one some thought. Now, as we've seen from previous Floyd matches, he's not this slow a player. This one is.
Would it be the challenge of the shot, or maybe as well a little deliberately just to slow down the pace of Alex?
I don't think so. I don't think you want to change your game as much as Floyd slowed down there. Floyd could be in trouble here if that top red goes, but I certainly appears to. Depending on position here, this could be. That one rattled in a little bit.
What's going on, Alex? Just looks like he has tunnel vision.
He's
no
so
outside
focused.
wall.
So focused.
Yep. When you're on the snooker table, it's not a time to think about laundry. Just gotta clean up those reds and colors.
So this one with, if he makes this red with a black to follow, he's 51 points up. And Floyd will be at a point where the best he can do is tie if this black goes in.
All these reds are definitely in tough positions.
Yeah. Again, the table's kind of gone Alex's way here, even though he missed that ball. Floyd might try a double here. But what he has done there is force the red off the cushion.
But can Alex sneak by that brown?
I think so. It's going down like he absolutely can. Oh, look out. Nope.
But he might have got the snooker there on that red.
Kind of looks that way based on body language.
Yeah, looking at our angle a little bit.
Green got in the way. So Floyd's got the feeling that the table's sort of tipped in Alex's favor at this point. But what often happens here is that the next couple of frames it can tip back again. It does have a tendency to even out. Not always, but sometimes.
If Alex takes this frame, he's going to want to continue his foot on the gas.
might have him angle hooked on this red up the rail. If he doesn't, it's definitely a hook behind the black.
Yeah, it popped out a little bit, but I can't see that red.
Getting just a little sense of frustration coming from Floyd.
Yeah.
Alex is looking at whether he can cut this one in the corner. It's pretty thin.
With that yellow,
Makeable.
yellow by the pocket up there in its own pocket, it's pretty makeable for the yellow. So losing control of the cue ball isn't.
Yeah, it was tough.
Was tough.
Well, if Floyd were able to come back and win this frame, that would be a bit of a blow.
Looks like Louis Vizicus is getting ready to play his opponent. Looks like, is that Salman Arif over there? Not sure, but that means unfortunately that Eddie Galati is out of the tournament.
Yes.
And
No, that's not Salman. Salman lost yesterday, actually.
Oh, okay. My apologies. I think Louis is playing one of our friends from Michigan, actually.
Well, Floyd's making a run at this. Floyd has just drawn the cue ball about better part of 14 or 15 feet and put it within an inch of the cue ball, of the object ball, which is, be a little careful here.
Mm-hmm. 29 and
39.
35
This
on.
is a game ball for Alex.
You know what I like
And with
about
the
it,
blue and
watching
yellow
it,
there, that's all Floyd needed to see.
we concedes that frame, and Alex Zhang leaves this best of 7 match 2 frames to 0. Frame 3 is coming up. I was saying, just as Alex quickly runs off for a comfort break, I really enjoy watching him when he's down and maybe something's come through, just doesn't feel comfortable. He'll get up,
Yes.
recompose, and go back again. So many times you find with players that they're down and they have to stay down. They have to take the shot. I'm down, I gotta go. Whereas that's not a good thing to do.
No. No, not at all.
Thanks, Norm. You're saying our stream is formidable.
There we go.
A true gentleman. Okay, here's Floyd ready to break it off for frame 3. It's underway. Oh, grazed the blue a little bit. Is he fortunate? Sometimes those cardinal rules are never hit the blue off the break.
Mm-hmm.
Not on the weekend, maybe through the week. Sorry.
Alex makes the opening red.
Well, you know, David, if I had the money to send you to Jamaica, you have won the trivia prize. It was 2 World
I knew
Cups
that.
Canada won. All right, who was on the teams?
No idea.
There you go. First team was made up of Cliff Thorburn, Kirk Stevens, and Bill Werbernick. Team number 2. Any ideas?
Probably Cliff, Kirk Stevens, and Jimmy White.
Cliff was correct. Bob Chaperone, who took the 2014 Richler Cup, and I believe who took the 2013 Richler Cup. A native of Quebec.
Alex? No, I have no idea.
Alain.
Alain Robideau. We had a lot of good players at the world level in the 1980s.
And it was really nice back then as well when they really started to open it up. And a lot of players had saw the success that Cliff and Kirk and Bill were getting, and it was nice to have those sort of fathers of the game that they could kind of take under their wing. These young players not going over to England completely unknown what's going on.
Ooh. I think that's the second ball Alex has missed.
All tournament, yeah.
Actually, it's probably about the 4th or 5th he's missed today, but yes, he's not missing much.
There's a little cleanup sound in the background. It's like someone got a little excited by that miss, maybe, and spilt their coffee.
Floyd trying to get him behind the green here. And it looks like he was successful. With the balls open like this, it's a good idea to play a snooker because it's if he hits a red here, Floyd may have a shot at getting in. Oh, this looks like a 2-rail hit in the cue ball back down table.
That's a patented Cliff Thorburn shot, I believe.
Is that right?
I believe he was the one that kind of brought it to the game, going off 2 cushions, glancing off the reds. Oh, you got to glance off the reds there, Alex.
Players quite often are they're fine missing it the first time. It's like throwing out depth charges. You kind of figure out your range, and next time you hit it. In this case, he hit it too thick. Made too much of an adjustment.
Yes, that's what my father did with the Navy.
Is that right?
He flew trackers, and they had depth charges to seek out the submarines.
Okay.
So, but he got it in good time in the military. There was no war going on.
I guess if you have to go, that's the best time.
I would think so. Yeah, he was certainly a funny cat, my father. He was able to land these trackers on an aircraft carrier.
Okay.
Can you operate a cell phone? That's a different question altogether.
It's too high tech.
True. Hopefully he's tuning in. He does like watching the snooker all the way out there in Trail, BC. Or Tappan, BC. My apologies. Trail is a lovely place as well.
My question is did your mother get socks for me this time?
You know, I was talking to her yesterday, and she did.
She did.
She's like, I forgot to give you David Putty socks.
You're not just going to give me some out of your sock drawer, are you?
A man's socks are a man's socks.
We've lost Alex. Floyd tried a difficult tight black there and came up just short.
Just notice, I don't know if not to take a little more intent on Alex, but when he comes through, he has a little stutter.
Take a look for it.
I noticed that Lian Wenbo did that when we were over at the Masters. Also a good player out in BC, Wayne Chan, who we'll see at the Whistler Cup. He has the same kind of cue delivery, shall we say.
That might be not exactly what Alex was hoping for. Kind of has to force this red in to get over for black. Now, if he's really confident, he goes for something like the blue or plays safe. Looks like he's shooting the brown. Nope, green.
So in your illustrious snooker career, did you ever play super snooker?
No. No, I never.
They had they put an orange and purple ball
Okay.
on the table. So it's pretty much the same rules, just there's a couple more color balls, and I believe the orange might have been worth 8 and the purple was worth 9 points.
Okay.
And
No. Never
same
have.
game. Okay.
Never even heard of it.
Oh,
No. Where do they play it?
I don't think they play it anymore.
Oh, okay.
No. It just, I think maybe back in the 60s or something like that, they wanted to add a lot more color to the game for some reason.
No, I've never even heard of it. This will be. Alex will probably be trying to come up and play one of these two reds closest to the top rail. And what that does is that frees up the black spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could probably just stun this red by the black spot in.
Yeah, just like that.
I wouldn't have done it any differently.
The way he's playing this, he's playing for to hold the cue ball for the red on the side. This is exactly what he's done. Given the difficulty of his cueing position there, he was obstructed by that other red. That's a great shot.
And ladies and gentlemen, Floyd Ziegler is no slouch. Just Alex is playing incredible snooker right now.
Probably wanting to bring the cue ball up on the right-hand side of this pack, if he can. And by doing that, what he did was he gave himself a few more options, but looks like he's okay on that one, just to the right of the pack. He's struggling with position on this run, but
Yeah, we're here live at Monte Carlo Billiards in Mississauga, so you might hear some little background noise as it is a quite active pool hall.
never gave that one a chance. This is Floyd's first real opportunity. Ball's wide open. Let him get his cueing arm nice and loose.
Yeah, this looks like a good opportunity here for Floyd.
He just needs to be careful, make sure he gives the due care and attention to each shot.
Sorry, Floyd. David made me do it.
That's why I mentioned due care and attention, because every shot is so important to him now, just to get into the flow of his own game. The other thing, of course, is that he's such a high-level player that even if he were to lose this frame, he's more than capable of coming back and winning 4 games in it. So Alex knows that. Alex knows not to take him lightly. Or you just stroke those balls in and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Julia, if you're still turned in the deep background of our action here, you'll see Fern and Jason Williams playing. So if you've got a good pair of binoculars, you might be able to keep score.
Bit of a stretch there. Sorry, bit of a stretch there for Alex. But nothing should cause a problem.
I don't know what's going to cause him a problem. He is really playing well.
And just coming down that right side of the table, pick up that loose red by the pink. He has such a good soft touch, soft stroke. It gets him in trouble very seldom. Well, again, for Alex is still favored here, as that red down by where Floyd is playing from is going to be a problem in terms of a run out. Doesn't look like he has the right angle to hold the white down at that end. You might even consider a safety here.
I don't know if he got the snooker.
I'm not sure. That's a great shot. Hit with really good control.
Mm-hmm. See, you can't count out Floyd.
So with this black going in, Floyd would still need to run all the colors. That's an uncharacteristic shot for Floyd. He absolutely was trying to get down for position on the yellow. But to hit a ball that hard, you almost have to have body movement. And you lose all... Not that you can't do it, but it's much more difficult to hit it without moving your body and losing control of cue ball and all that. So. Big stretch here. And the unfortunate part for Floyd there was that he actually did get down for position on the yellow. So had he made the ball, he would have been in a great position to run table and win.
Mm-hmm.
Alex is now 24 points up with 25 points left on the table. So any one ball that he makes now is frame ball.
But remember, kids, he has to hit the green. There's an order to these colors.
Yes. You can't just shoot the blue.
See, channeling
Floyd is now basically going for every shot.
Seems like he's channeling his Alex Higgins. Oh, and he concedes that one. So Alexander takes a 3-0 lead. I think as our intermission, Floyd's going to take advantage. We'll take a little
Take a moment.
5-10 minute break. But remember to subscribe to the Snooker Canada page on YouTube because you'll get nice alerts when we come back to the action here. I think about 10 minutes we'll resume and we'll see what happens. Hopefully Floyd can come back.
We'll be back. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
The landscape of snooker in Canada is about to shift to a higher level. We have just one question. Are you ready? The Canadian Snooker Tour has seen a lot of changes in the last 7 years. An increase in player participation, tournaments, and yes, more prize money. 3 words, not satisfied yet. Stay tuned for major announcements to come on the Snooker Canada website. Monte Carlo Billiards is the home of Mississauga for the game of snooker. Whether you are a beginner or an advanced player, if you enjoy the game of snooker, there is no place like it. With world-class professional tables, it is always a good time to drop in. We also offer lessons, leagues, and group functions. Great food, great atmosphere. MonteCarloBilliards.com.
At Monte Carlo Inns, we're the first to admit there's no place like home. So let us welcome you to the next best place, where guests feel like regulars, even on their first day. Monte Carlo Inns is your home away from home.
No, that's a quiet thing. Yeah. Oh, really? But yeah, we use it. That's why they call it. That's right. They are allowed to scream. Which one? Was it America? That's how you
All right, everybody,
we
welcome
go.
back to Monte Carlo Billiards. We're live here at the Canadian Open, and we're into frame 4 of a half-2 frame for Floyd Ziegler. There's no sugarcoating it at all. He needs to win.
Needs to win. Needs to rein in his bit of frustration he's had. That's a good start. It's a great start. Not a perfect kiss, but he's going to go for this one, and I think we'll see a fight back from Floyd here. Oh, just missed it. I was watching him move around in between during the break here, and he's strikes me that he's in a fair amount of pain.
Okay.
So I suspect that might be part of it. You can see him holding his right arm there. And Alex is a competitor that, especially if he senses that Floyd is off because of some pain or some restriction, he'll do what he can to finish this off right here and now. And then he'll commiserate with him after about his sore arm. But
True.
Not during the match.
Yeah, if Alex led Floyd back into this match, adrenaline as we get later in the match would overpower that sore shoulder of Floyd's.
I just did a quick walk around on a couple of tables here, and Fern Loyer for his niece out there.
Yeah.
Fern is up 1-love at this point, won the first frame. And Phil Snake, who had Gerard Morrison down 3-0, is now facing a Hill. Gerard came back and won the next 3 games.
Fantastic.
So they're in the 7th frame as we speak.
Do we use the term love in snooker?
It's perhaps more of a squash term.
Okay.
Not, perhaps.
I do have a running gag, I always, I love the game of tennis because you can be losing and still in love.
That's true.
So I like how you're talking. I maybe should apply this to my snooker game because I'm usually losing, but at least I'll be in love.
That's right. Has he hit it hard enough? No. Otherwise, that would have been in, and that would have been something that would have made Floyd just a little less happy. Well, will he go in the pack here or not? Nope.
Fortunately, nothing. No reds are on. For a pot. That is. Oh, maybe the double? Cross double? One thing that's nice to see with our live stream out on the YouTube, under the Snooker Canada page, we have a great section for comments, questions, or you can let us know where you're tuning in from. And it looks like Ken and Stan used to play a long time ago, and they're rekindling an old friendship.
Yeah. Ken Bartko and Stan Greenwood, and actually Ken and Bart having a nice conversation there.
Keeping it clean, very
Yeah,
civilized.
Which we appreciate.
But don't let them have all the fun, ladies and gentlemen. You can tune in with your comments and questions. Even if you wanted to rally on some support in the written word.
Cheer Floyd on, or Alex, whichever color you're flying. That's unless that red goes in the side, and it doesn't look like it does. Floyd made a good shot there. Might have one in the corner.
Or Julia, if you can type real loud, I'm pretty sure Fern will hear you on one of those back tables.
Great shot. Nope. I can speak a little bit to playing in pain. I had a bit of a fall in February, and I wasn't able to walk for about 9 or 10 days and couldn't drive for a couple of weeks. And I tried playing about a month later. My leg was feeling okay. And I tried to play about a month later, and I got partway through a tournament and was getting into the second. I was winning my match, second match of the day. And I realized that my leg was hurting so much that there was no way I was coming back the next day. And so I looked at my opponent and I said to him, I'm going to concede the match because whoever wins here comes back tomorrow and I'm not coming back. So my game was not close to what it could have been. And it's really hard to play in pain. It's not that physical a sport, but you're so used to everything working in a synchronized manner that when it's not there, it's not there. So.
And the contortions that you put your body through and stuff like that. I think the one thing that really aches me when I play is my backside.
Because you're sitting so much?
Yeah, is there anything I can do about that?
Make more balls. Yeah, if you're drinking water or Coca-Cola through most of your match, it's not a good thing. Floyd's making a bit of a move here. He's finding a bit of his stroke and composure, I'd suggest. You can see before every shot he's kind of taking that right arm and stretching it out above his head.
Yeah, a road is built by just laying one stone at a time. So, slowly but surely, Floyd could crawl his way back into this.
Kind of keeping an eye on that back right-hand table where Phil and Gerard are playing their game 7, trying to get a sense of who might have the upper hand there. Phil is at the table now, I believe. Floyd is certainly not one to go down without swinging. He'll, if he can grab a frame, if he can grab 2 frames, and
if he can get a couple frames, look out. With his ability, his experience, starts with a sense of doubt in Alex's mind. Because that winning line is there, but to achieve it is a whole different story.
it's a nice shot from Floyd there. Get around for this red just to the right of the pink. He's got himself a 45-point lead, so we're getting down to the point where one more color, especially if it's a black. So that gives them a 53-point lead with 51 points on the table. So Especially if he now makes this relatively simple red. You'll see Alex concede the frame. When Floyd's finished.
Yeah, but if Floyd can run the table, that'd be a good confidence booster.
He hit the black.
He did. He was fortunate there. Because if he didn't...
It would have been enough to make a difference. So it's 54-point difference.
And Alex is pulling up the ball, so he's conceding. So Floyd crawls back into this match, trailing 3-1. So you get another one on the board.
I like it. He looked at the cue ball to see if there was something wrong with the cue ball after he miscued.
Might be a piece of your tip there, maybe. Who knows?
There's that one right at the back of the pack. Be kind of a bit of a shot to nothing. Alex is just looking at it now. Checking the angle to make sure he can get out. No, he's not playing that one. Oh, he's playing, okay.
He's trying to put a stake in the vampire and kill him off early.
Speaking of Snake, Phil Snake appears to still be at the table there. And if he's been there that long, it means he's making some balls. Might not be good news for Gerard Morrison fans. I think Phil's been at the table about 5 minutes at least. Seems like they're checking the score, or he's checking the score.
Yeah, lots of great action down here at Monte Carlo Billiards in Mississauga. We're live on Super Saturday. By the end of the day, we will whittle it down to 8 competitors that will play the quarterfinals tomorrow, semifinals, and the big grand finale of the final of the Canadian Open.
Oh, Floyd got out. One more kiss there, he might have been in trouble. Gerard has come back to the table in the back corner in the Phil Snake, Gerard Morrison, and they're shaking hands. I believe Phil Snake has been the winner over on that table. Good fight back from Gerard, though.
Definitely. Yeah, it's not a confirmation. It is fur back. David is channeling his body language reading abilities. As we're kind of in the pathway sometimes when the players exit the playing room area.
It was a great shot by Floyd. Sometimes if you hit those balls too thick, you end up in lots of trouble, but he played that with perfect speed. Bit of a drive-by on that one, I think. Alex is trying to hit this one super thin. So the cue ball comes back down to you.
You guys got a sheet?
And I think that's another drive-by. And now, the rule is, and both of these players know it, is that Alex has to hit a red. Because he has reds in the open. So he's changing his aim here a little bit, I think.
Well, why didn't you do that the first time, Alex? But a definitely confirmation. We just heard word that the general, Phil Snake, has defeated Jared Morrison, 4-3. That would have been quite a match to take a look on the TV table. Phil roared ahead 3-0. And then Gerard came back to tie it 3-3. Similar kind of to what we saw a couple of years ago at the Rachelor Cup in the semifinal.
Yes.
Phil Snake roared out to a 4-0 lead over Tom Finstead. And then Tom battled back to tie it 4, and then it was a nail-biting decider. And
In the ninth game.
yep, Phil pulled it out to clinch a spot in the final, and unfortunately fell victim to the snake charmer here, Alex Zhang.
That's another outstanding shot from Floyd. He has left a long shot for Alex here. But that's about all he's left for Alex. There might be a safety in off one of that. The red closest to the pocket. But oh my.
Unfortunately, no real colors on there for
No, but if you picture where that cue ball ended up, if Floyd was coming in, because all he's going to do is play safe here, likely. Well, he is aiming blue. He might be trying to roll this in.
What you said. If he didn't fluke that in, Alex, you're envisioning a 3-2 score line, possibly?
Floyd may be working into a better mood here to actually mount this comeback. This will be a nice. Oh yeah. Floyd is certainly finding his stroke and trying to corral Alex.
There's been some also awesome good news in the Canadian snooker scene that our good friend Cliff Thorburn took the Senior Masters a few weeks ago.
Yes, the Legends Tour.
Oh, it's interesting. They use the shot clock over there. I don't think many people are a fan of the shot clock, and especially with these guys that are getting older.
Legends?
In the Legends.
Really? In the old days, Cliff might have had a problem with that.
Oh, I think he had a problem with this tournament as well. Definitely known as the grinder. He definitely takes his time to make sure he's got the correct shot.
It kind of looks like Floyd has just decided to let loose. He's made a couple of spectacular reds. And he's coming out swinging. It's nice to see. Nice to see him don't think he got much of a break there. He hasn't spotted the pink yet. Oh, somebody's told him.
That's a bit. That's a tough one there.
If he had shot the red there without the pink being back on the table, it would have been an automatic foul. Someone from the crowd reminded him that he hadn't spotted the pink.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, nothing you can do about it, but certainly the crowd shouldn't be participating.
No.
We
We have signs up saying "Quiet, please, everyone."
Yeah. Anyway, it's in. I think he would have recognized anyway that it wasn't there.
Hopefully, because if this goes real deep, I don't know. Does Alex have merit to protest?
No.
No.
No, you'd have to. At the end, there was no foul, so nothing to be done.
That's why we need all you people to sign up for our referee program, so we can have referees and markers at each table, making sure some of those careless fouls don't happen.
Now, certainly if this was a refereed match, that would never be a problem.
So I think we have a volunteer to join the program.
Whoever it was that shouted out.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't seen much of Alex at the table in the last couple of games.
No, he's strangling that gentleman.
Now, don't be spreading false rumors. So Floyd found himself out of position there, and his only option was to play safe. And Alex now has a shot to nothing on that one closest to the pink. Oh, he's going another route.
And as well, today's a big day over in Britain. Do you know why, David?
It's the beginning of the World Championships.
That's what I would think, but there's this lady called Queen Elizabeth that's celebrating her 92nd birthday.
It's the beginning of the World Championships.
I agree. It is the beginning of the World Championships.
I'm sure that's what you were talking about.
The beginning of the World Championships?
Yes.
Of course.
So the old bird's 92, is she? Wow. I mean, our sovereign queen, not the old bird. So Alex has kind of changed his approach here. He's had a couple of opportunities to go for some balls. He's passed on them.
I definitely agree. Come back frame 2, and he would have been
Slapping
rifling.
those in. Floyd also will have noticed that. Well, he made two of them. Two.
Double trouble. That might be what Robert, our great scorekeeper of earlier today, would call the poof poof.
That's right. Yes.
It's good fun having him in the booth yesterday, and he did a dynamite job at scorekeeping this morning. And Rob Decatur, our technical advisor, our technical producer, is taking over for scorekeeping and doing a smashing job as well. He's wearing a lot of hats today, Rob, and doing wonderful work.
He always does. Well, Alex is 41 points down. He's going to have to start making some balls if he gets another opportunity. Floyd's keeping the pressure on by making balls.
Yes.
And I think he's deciding between the brown and the side, or rolling up on the green. Decided to take the extra points.
But still plenty of points in the frame. But those tricky two reds at the top cushion.
I don't believe Floyd will try and move those at the moment. Floyd is finding his way. His stroke is looking a lot more comfortable.
Oh yes, so the pendulum switches sometimes in this game on a drop of a dime.
And now, instead of trying complicated positioning or anything, Floyd just made sure of that pink, which I believe will. This actually is Floyd's frame ball. Again, not too concerned about position, just wanted to make the ball for sure.
So Alex can tie.
No, there's
Nope, you can win by a point.
you can win. Actually, there's 4 reds left on the table. So
That's
there's
brown.
There's 59. Which one? Is that the red and the brown? Can't tell on our monitor.
It is a bit dark, but I believe that's the brown over the
So yeah,
bottom right-hand corner.
Okay, so that shot by Floyd has opened up the possibility of Alex winning by 1 if he was to take the 3 blacks. So 3 reds, 3 blacks, and all the colors.
But that was a great segue there, because that is actually something that you can ask a ref. Some players are a bit colorblind, and the red and brown can look very similar.
Alex wanted to move them a little more than that. He actually looked at that. That was a shot he had in mind. It was lined up. He just had to.
There's a great pot on the David Putty red. No, it's a bit tough from our vantage point here. And so Alex concedes that frame, and Floyd's making a game of it. His back was up against the wall, 3-0 going into the intermission. Put his ward back to make 2. Both players just taking a comfort break, but we'll be back with an important frame 6. Can Floyd keep the pressure on, or will Alex stop the bleeding?
The beauty of it is that Alex just needs to really get in and get one good run. Or if Floyd continues to shut him down and keep the pressure on, then we don't know what will happen. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, back from a little short break. We've got frame 6 coming up. And for all you friends out there watching the stream, if you want to go to CompuSport, I believe, .com, or just Google search CompuSport, or download the CompuSport app on your smartphone. That has brackets there and all up-to-date scoring over there. It's a little tough from our vantage point to see the updates on other individual tables. We'll do our best to keep you updated when we hear some results coming in, or maybe if some of our fans are walking around the room, they can report back to us. But here it's 3-2 for Alex Zhang. Floyd has come back quite nicely. If he can knock this at 3-8, it's anybody's game. That blue, oh, it's just run a little too far. Stan, I will just take a look and see if I can find out who Craig Carey is playing. Just hold on one moment.
So Floyd is the first one in here. Taking a look at what his options are on the next red. Looks like he's going up table for another blue.
So no need to call the fire department. The fireman, Craig Carey, is playing Dean Fury over on that table in the top right corner of our screen. And I think they just got underway about 10 minutes or so, so they might still be just in their first frame.
Yeah, they would be. That's where Gerard and Phil were playing up until a few minutes ago. An interesting thing there, while Floyd was cleaning that cue ball, if he had just touched it, even though he was picking up something from around the cue ball, if he had just touched that ball with his hand or anything like that, it automatically would have been a foul.
Did someone say don't touch that white ball from the
Don't
crowd?
touch that white ball. So this may be an important ball for Alex. He has either one in the corner or one in the side. Great shot. Now, he might be able to come off the rail, but he's left himself in a tight spot.
Yeah, that was a good red since he's not really been at the table too much in the last two frames.
The one way he could play this is where his left hand is right now. Come off that side rail and try and hit the black.
You got to be creative to play this game. Sometimes it's not a straightforward shot.
He's now looking at massing around that red, getting as far down the rail as he can, or playing this one off the side rail. Neither one is a great option, but he'll go with the one that he's most likely to pull out. Very nicely done. He's ended up in a reasonable position for this red. He might have liked that red that he left by the black. He might have liked that to be able to go in the corner, but he has the one on the side instead.
Yeah, this break is important for Alex. Just get him back into game mode.
Certainly if he put in a 40 or a 50 point run here, or better.
Say that was more of a respect shot. Sure, there's the blue that's a little bit more, and maybe you can run off the blue and hit the pink and burst open the pack on the
No,
last shot.
he was playing distinct position onto this red over this side. Again, you don't have to move the cue ball very much at all. It's to keep it simple. If you don't need to move the cue ball to continue the run, you keep it as simple as you can, unless there's specific reason to do otherwise. kind of like every shot now is a big shot.
You know, one person that's missing from this tournament, Jesse Piercy. Do you know where he is?
Yeah, he plays more 8-ball, 9-ball still now.
Okay.
He's a very good player out of London, as we talked about Nicholas Ridley earlier as well. There's a heck of a shot. Nicholas Ridley and Floyd Ziegler, he's not Floyd Ziegler, Levi Myler. There's some other, Dave Scott out of London. There's some good London players that are here right now. Yeah, I haven't seen Jesse in a while actually. In a tournament. What they're doing is they're seeing if it's frozen, if it's touching. They're going to get the referee Jim Jacks to come in and place this ball. Jim has a tool that is exactly half the width of the ball, and you can see if in fact it will fit or not. Jim has determined it does not go onto its spot, and as all other spots are covered, it goes as close towards the top rail as it can without touching any other ball. The difference here is that the red that Floyd was playing shape on now is obstructed on its way to the pocket by the pink ball, I suspect. And that's why they wanted to make sure that they got it right.
He's almost doing that correctly, Jim. He's almost doing that correctly. Just wear his white gloves.
I should have offered him my white gloves. They're in the car.
Surprised that Jim didn't have a pair being a referee
Good point.
around this game. And
Now, Alex appears to be looking at a 3-ball. It went dead center.
so what is the foul for a referee not bringing their white gloves?
He doesn't get the meal that usually comes with the job.
Okay. Alex.
He certainly wasn't missing those in the beginning.
No.
Floyd will now be certainly sensing that Alex isn't as on or focused as he was in the beginning, and would love to bring this back to 3-3.
And we've lost Floyd. Oh, there he is.
hoping to slide that cue ball past the Reds, and instead he kind of crashed into them.
Yep, that's the unhappy pose of Floyd there. Put a hand on the table and just tap his fingernails on the cushion.
So the only option is to leave your opponent frozen to the bottom rail.
And he pulled that off exceptionally.
He has got away with that.
Yeah, I think Floyd is tapping his chalk on the table, just saying, all right.
All right, be that way. So this frame is still hanging in the balance.
Yeah, just a 2-point difference. 59, oh no. 67 on the table.
Yes. It might have been a two-bank attempt, but he certainly left an opportunity here. Wow. The magic has gone out of his cue for the moment.
The magic has left both of their hands.
That was a difficult shot for Floyd. That was not an easy shot. Neither was Alex last shot, but it's one that you would have expected him to make. So here's a demonstration of his positive attitude. He's taking this red. If he misses it, he leaves 3 easy blacks for Floyd. Okay? But a clear statement of his frame of mind. He was going for that ball. And knew what would happen if you look at where it is when he misses. Had he missed, there's all sorts of balls that he was going to make there. Another major shot here for the frame. Dead center.
Disappeared in the depths of the pocket. I think that's what the Zhang supporters are saying.
That's right. Now, Alex missed a relatively easy green not long ago into this corner. I think you'll see his level of concentration be considerably higher here. Perfectly played. It's still an awkward table.
Mm-hmm.
So not quite perfect. He maybe came a little far. He'd like to have had another angle, but nice position. Still not a give me. It's not a guaranteed black side or corner, but he doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball to make it happen. So it's good control.
All right.
Game on. I think we lost David.
Nope, I'm still here.
Okay. It's a very difficult table to picture running out on.
Yeah, especially with that pink and green tied up on the left side.
Up there. Floyd put his hand up there. I'm not sure why. He was definitely playing the shot blue in the side, and maybe because he just snuck by the yellow.
Don't think the Blues come to his rescue there.
No blues. His best hope there was it would have been sitting right on top of the yellow. And it hasn't done that either, so it's only 3 points in it, still anyone's game.
Yeah, because that yellow to green is going to be an interesting plan of attack.
Now, I think if he has an angle where he can get to that red and green, he'll play a ball in.
Thanks, Stan. That's an excellent point. I think Reed was just putting up Floyd was putting up his hand to slow the cue ball down. Wasn't apologizing for anything. Good eyes, Stan. Thanks to have you on board. Just send us all your information and we'll get you on the payroll as soon as possible.
I don't have my glasses on, so
I noticed one thing when you play, you put your glasses on your forehead.
my problem is if balls are very close together, my short vision is blurry. So if someone says, is the ball touching? I have no idea. So if balls are close together and I need to see whether the cue ball passes another ball, I have to put my glasses on. I could leave them in my case. I almost sort of forget that they're even there. But that's why. And I don't even notice that they're there anymore most of the time.
Well, it could be a superstition that you may
Got the
have.
score right?
I got it right on the screen, yeah.
Yeah, he's got it.
39-33.
I had a 38. No, you got a 38-33. On here.
That's interesting. We're having a bit of a discrepancy on our screen with 38, 33, but on the screen by the table it's 38-33. So 1 point
You
discrepancy.
got 5 points, 2 and 3, right? Should be third.
Correct, yeah, something has happened with our score that magically a red has disappeared. That is another reason why we do encourage players to keep their own score as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, he's up 6 now? Yeah. Oh, all right. All right.
Yeah, that's right. What's Alex doing? He just... That's pink and green on the left-hand rail.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
Can I borrow your glasses?
Well, obviously, I'm colorblind on this screen.
It is in black and white.
Oh.
It's funny how the TV screen that you can see on our monitor series is different than the score on the bottom, because usually those are lining up.
Yeah. Oh, have they fixed it? Okay.
That's why we'd love to have some great volunteers out there.
Mm-hmm.
Rob is doing a great job keeping score, but sometimes we can just have a dedicated scorekeeper. It's a great thing. As we experienced last year at Whistler Cup, we had to do a little bit of commentating and scorekeeping, and it's just a little tricky to do two things at once.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
We didn't do so well trying
No,
to
we
keep
didn't.
score and commentate at the same time.
Because it's not bad once you're going along nicely, but sometimes when you get a little hiccup, your attention is drawn to correcting the score and the commentating goes sideways. So there should be a 2 there. It should be 40-33 after Alex sunk that yellow ball.
Oh, look out. If that had gone in, that would have very likely been the frame. It may be the frame and match now, if Alex gets into this. It's pretty, it's going to be hard.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Alex is leaning on the table behind himself, trying to figure out what to do from here.
Luckily, there's not a game on that table.
Good point. I think his decision is to go for this ball. come out pretty well from it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it must be snowing outside or some bad weather because those technical issues are creeping their ugly head back into our broadcast.
Oh, great shot. He's going, bounce!
I bounced around the table. Why won't you bounce, cue ball?
So this blue ball is for frame and match, barring snookers and fouls. Beautiful. Obviously not concerned about pink position on that shot.
No. And I think we have one more match coming up on the TV table. I believe it's Lobsang Lama who will be on this table. But definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Snooker Canada page, just so you get a notification when we go back live. But hold on, we could be here a little longer.
From that angle, there's a possibility of a snooker behind the black. Couple ways to go about this. Floyd's very good at these. Ooh. Should be one more.
Ooh. You can just taste the finish line.
Now the thing that typically most players would do here is just roll this pink ball right towards the hole. If you make it, great. If you don't, the snooker options reduce greatly the closer it is to a hole. And that's the other reason for rolling it over the hole instead of hitting it hard. Because if you do miss, anything can happen. Although he's now put it in a very tough spot to get a hook.
Yeah, with that black tight to the cushion.
Floyd's primary objective here, most likely, is to get that black off the ramp. And Alex's prime objective is to not move that black.
So we just had a scoring correction. It is 53-33 for Alex, just for your aware. Sometimes we get these crazy computer issues that come up that we just can't control. And fortunate enough, we do tell the players, just in case that incident happens, to keep score manually.
That's it.
Great match
what a great match that was. Alex came out of the blocks hot as a pistol, and Floyd responded as we expected him to do. And that sixth frame could have been anybody's. But at the end of the day, Alex Zhang has come ahead 4-2 and is heading to the quarterfinals tomorrow.
That will happen tomorrow. Yes. So you got to be good to get to the quarterfinals. But no disrespect to Floyd. He's a great player, and he'll be back at the table soon enough. And so will we. We're just going to take probably about a 15-minute break, as I believe our next match will get on at around 5 o'clock. But just in case we start a little earlier or a little later, so subscribe to the
We'll be
Snooker
here.
Canada page on YouTube, and you'll get the nice notifications when we do come back live. So stay tuned. Maybe put that chicken in the oven and get it ready for dinner, and we'll
We'll
back
be over.
pretty soon.
Bye now.
Monte Carlo Billiards is the home of Mississauga for the game of snooker. Whether you are a beginner or an advanced player, if you enjoy the game of snooker, there is no place like it. With world-class professional tables, it is always a good time to drop in. We also offer lessons, leagues, and group functions. Great food, great atmosphere. MonteCarloBilliards.com.
Monte Carlo Inns. We're the first to admit there's no place like home. So let us welcome you to the next best place, where guests feel like regulars, even on their first day. Monte Carlo Inns is your home away from home.